If you heard or seen King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters, Frag, or Atari Game Over, by the way, three of my favorite documentaries, and might do a review on one of them if the public wants it, then you might not heard of Thumb Candy, and we need to appreciate this film. Yes, if you live in the UK, you might have seen this on E4, and the reason why I made this assumption is because the way I saw the movie and it had the little E4 logo in the corner. So yeah, any Brit seeing this video, as if. Leave a comment or send me a message in a bottle to confirm this because this beginning sentence might sound irrelevant. So the reason why I said to appreciate the film and not like, oh, get on your knees and give it a passionate BJ till you tear up, more like an ode to what this film laid the foundation to other documentaries that involve gaming. The film was released in 2000. It fell ahead of itself, but Thumb Candy did cover the early days of gaming, from a simple circular screen that had the image of a flying triangle, similar to the same picture that you see on a social media that says, I like video games, ha ha ha, to the games that were released during the time of filming, including Zelda, Half-Life, Jet Set Radio, and so on and so forth. The style of this film was a simple interview located in three locations: the UK, USA, and Japan. And the first person to be interviewed was Steve Russell, the creator of Space War. This was basically a flight simulator to show how to maneuver in space. And one day while he was in the bar and they did a last call, Russell and his friends and some barflies went to the computer room to start playing with the flight simulator. And as he quoted, it was an alternative to pinball right after last calls in the bar, according to Russell. Then the film focuses on Nolan Bushnell and Al Alcorn. If you're in your mid-30s, you might recognize these fellas because Bushnell was the founder of Atari and Alcorn was the creator of Pong. The history of Atari was explained briefly. You can even see the skeleton of the Pong arcade machine, which was a simple CRT television, a motherboard that ran the game, a transformer, no, the other transformer, and a baking pan that held the quarters. And you may be saying right now, damn, that sounds like a cheap piece of shit. And you're right, because Bushnell told Alcorn to make it cost efficient as possible, which he did, and the rest is history. Afterwards, it went to the arcade era. Well, I just call it that because the segment was about arcade games and the rise of its popularity, with an interview with Tomohiro Nishikado, the creator of Space Invaders. And he revolutionized the game industry because he included the high score, moving characters, and the 100 yen coin shortage. Well, the 100 yen shortage was not a revolutionary landmark, but it was an epidemic in Japan back then. The second part of this segment was about Asteroids, and the creator for that game is Edward Log. The reason why he created Asteroids was to compete with Space Invaders, and this game coined the term lurking. Also, there was this clip of a teen who was playing Asteroids for 3 days straight by the name of Scott Safran. Sadly, he passed away in 1989 due to falling off a roof. Rest in peace, Space Cowboy. The rest of the segments were cameos of Defender, Missile Command, and Battlezone. Afterwards, the host goes back to Japan and talks to the creator of Pac-Man, Toru Iwatani. Well, it's known as Pac-Man, but the reason why the name got changed is because someone can drop the P and place an F, aka Fuckman. Fun fact about Pac-Man that I didn't know, besides the creator got the idea from eating pizza to the Pac-Man fever song that was in the top 10 Billboard Hot 100, but it was popular with the girl gamers, and Iwatani designed it for girls, and yeah, gamer girls, why don't you bite my joystick like that? Well, let's keep on going with this review, shall we? While the USA and Japan were basking in the pixelated glory, the UK was still trying to learn how to even use a keyboard, and hence the two important figures in the electronic field were introduced, one who got knighted and the other one was a cult hero. Clive Sinclair, our knight, and excuse my mannerism, Sir Clive Sinclair, created the CX Spectrum, the very first home computer, which its rival was the Commodore 64, and he briefly described the prototype from where it was made to what the color scheme was. Other chap is Matt Smith, who created Manic Miner, and once again, Brit, send me a message in a bottle and voice your opinion. Smith created this game when he was 17, and then he did a sequel to Manic Miner, and afterwards, he just left without leaving a trace. Then he resurfaced and made a mobile game called Jet Set Racing. It kind of looked like Mario Kart, but it includes some references to his past work, most notably Minor Willy. The highlight of this documentary was the interview of Shigeru Miyamoto and his famous game, Donkey Kong. His original passion was to create playgrounds for kids, but after Nintendo released some failed arcade cabinets, Nintendo put Miyamoto in charge on what to do to these cabinets, and hence Donkey Kong were placed inside there, and the rest is history. But just look at his smile for a moment. God damn it, you live forever, you crazy bastard. Lastly, we got Alexei Pashanev and Toby Gard, creator of Tetris and Tomb Raider. Pashanev got the idea from a small toy which he found in a shop, and our host having trouble putting together. And surprise, surprise, he didn't make any money because communism. But it did land him a job on Microsoft, so yeah, he's making mad dosh. And for anybody who doesn't know what mad dosh is, or dosh in general, here's a little clip to explain to you. Arnhem, it's louter money.
What's they spell? Loads of money, probably. Made a right load of finishing knowledge this week. Right, lads, what's out for the ladies? Loads.
The last person was Toby Gard, who only had like 3 minutes to talk about Tomb Raider, and the reason why he made the game was to compete with 3D platforms like Unreal Tournament and Doom. And thanks to this person, we got Croft cosplayers and other media. Yeah, isn't the internet great? So overall, this documentary was a powerhouse of people who made history in the game industry, with the host playing with the creators of said games. Perks that I caught and were interesting was hearing from the UK side. Sure, we heard about the Japan and the USA dominance of video games, and I did make a review about a British game, and check it out. I'm not forcing you, but check it out. Once again, not forcing you. But yeah, learning about the British side was a perk, despite it was somewhat lackluster from the ground up to what we know today. The only main concern that it was too short. At a 45-minute documentary, it had to cover stuff at a short time. Also, this was meant for television, so with commercials added, it was really on a time crunch. Also, the other flaw was the host. At first, it was really hard to watch this documentary, but later on I had to put in my mind that this was made in 2000. And with his British charm, it didn't help at all. But don't get discouraged. Just check it out. But I just strongly advise you because of his British charm, that's all. Now, the important question, will I recommend it? Maybe. I would watch it again, but I would skim some parts of it. But once again, you have to realize this is one of the first documentaries alongside with the Game Over, Gender, Race, and Violence in Video Games alongside. So yeah, both these films should get an ode, a recognition, I don't know, a pat on the back. And by God, if you find this documentary, the Game Over, Gender, Race, and Violence in video games, whatever, I will give you my soul. Do restrictions apply? So yeah, if you're interested in video games, iconic people that made video games better, or some cringy British charm, then check out this film and tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you liked it or not, and until then, we'll meet again.
Thank you.